The Deep Space Telescope Orion 7 floated in the cold dark near Pluto. It was an old Terran machine left behind decades ago, mostly forgotten. But one quiet night, it came alive. The telescope turned toward a dying neutron star in the Talvela system, thousands of light-years away. It wasn't scheduled to observe anything and moved on its own. And then, it picked up a signal, not noise, not static, but something structured that, the impossible data inside a small research station orbiting Mars. Dr. Alina Veris rubbed her eyes. She had been reviewing boring star logs for hours. Then her screen blinked. Red box flashed. ORION 7 uplink. Biocode detected. She sat up straight. Her assistant, Kenji, walked over, holding coffee. Another solar ghost? He asked casually. But Alina didn't answer. She was staring at the genetic sequence appearing on her screen. Her voice cracked. Kenji, this is human DNA. He blinked. From the neutron star. Yes, she said slowly. But it's not just human. She pointed at the timestamp. It's 10 million years old. Panic in the lab filled with activity. More scientists gathered, simulations were run. Histories checked. No one could explain it. Humanity had only evolved a few 100,000 years ago. Civilization, barely 10,000. But this DNA sequence was perfectly human and millions of years older than Earth's known species. Alina shook her head. This must be a mistake. But the signal repeated again, and this time changed. The message inside the signal wasn't just DNA, it was wrapped inside an energy pattern that acted like a languid one, unknown to the galaxy. The team decoded part of it. A word emerged, not spoken, but felt. Origin. Then the star pulsed once more. A loud sound hit the lab's audio systems. Not noise, not static. It was a voice, and it spoke in every language known in the galaxy, even ancient ones. Soft, calm, chilling. Humanity. Remembered. The Council's reaction. The signal was sent to the Galactic Council. They met in emergency session. 1,000 species gathered on the floating citadel Severus, orbiting the galactic center. The Terran ambassador stood tall. This proves humans are older than we thought, he said. But the council laughed. The Valkyrie speaker clicked his mandibles. A dead star speaking human DNA. Absurd. Your species is young. You only reached FTL travel a few centuries ago. Others nodded. This is a trick, an echo. Perhaps Earth's machines glitched. But one voice didn't laugh. An elder from the Sorati leaned forward, her eyes glowing faintly. There are old stories, she whispered. Stories of the first flame, a race that walked among stars when our ancestors crawled through mud. We always believed it was myth. Now she stared at the hologram of the neutron star. Maybe we were wrong. The council forbids exploration despite growing interest. The council voted no species shall approach the Talvela system. No missions, no signals, no records. They feared a trap or worse, something forgotten. The Terran ambassador returned to Earth with heavy silence, but humanity was not ready to stop. The hidden order on Earth in the Andes Mountains. Hidden beneath the rock, an old facility lit up. It was called Project Cibula Program, buried by ancient governments. Long before the United Terran Accord was formed. Inside, a single figure sat in front of a dark console. Her name was Commander Alira Rowe, ex-Special Ops, now caretaker of secrets. She stared at a blinking red light. The system whispered, signal match confirmed. Coordinates appeared, and under it, initiate protocol, blood echo. Alira narrowed her eyes. It's real, she muttered. Behind her, giant steel doors unlocked. A forgotten ship hummed in the shadows. The ancient ship. The ship had no name, no records. Its surface was made of metal not found anywhere on Earth, and inside, symbols glowed softly, not Terran, but familiar. Alira walked into the cockpit. The ship spoke, not in words, but in feelings. She felt warmth, age, power. A calm voice whispered in her mind, welcome back, child of fire. She blinked. Back. I've never been here before. But, deep down, something inside her remembered. A memory not her own, of stars burning, of fleets rising, of a time before time. Cliffhanger. The star pulses again. Back at Mars Station, Alina Veris stared at the neutron star through the telescope feed. Suddenly, the star pulsed again, harder, brighter. A shock wave of energy crossed space, faster than light. Every deep space system shut down, and then a new word appeared on the main screen. Just one. Return. The Galactic Council had spoken. No one goes to the Talvela system. Their vote was final. Official records marked the area as dangerous and closed to all species, but Earth didn't listen. Something ancient had spoken through that star. A voice buried deep in time, and humanity wanted to know the truth. Earth's secret vote in a quiet chamber below Geneva base. Earth's top leaders met behind sealed doors. No cameras, no reporters, only silence. General Soren paced slowly. We all saw the data. That signal spoke in every known language, even ones we've never used. Dr. Alina Veris stood beside him, pale but firm, and it carried human DNA. Millions of years old. One council member said, if we go, we risk war with the Galactic Union. Soren looked at her coldly. If we don't go, we risk not knowing who we really are. They voted. The result: send a team, immediately. The chosen crew. The mission was top-secret, no military uniforms, no public announcements. The ship chosen was small but powerful. The S-Raven, a black stealth-class exploration craft, equipped with cloaking and quantum drives. The crew: Captain Merrick Dorn. Ex-soldier known for surviving impossible missions. Dr. Elena Veras, lead geneticist, now part of the Discovery. Commander Alira Rowe, the silent guardian of Project Sable. Tariq Velione, engineer and hacker, genius with alien tech. Ava Lynn, exolinguist, expert in forgotten languages. Their mission was clear: reach the neutron star. Investigate the signal, return with answers. Departure in silenced. The ESS Raven left orbit under the cover of solar storms. No trace was left behind. Even Earth's citizens didn't know a mission had begun. As the ship entered the black of space, Captain Dorn gave the order: engage quantum drive. The stars stretched. Reality bent. And the Raven disappeared. Tau Velis system. 5 days later, they arrived. The Tau Velis system was silent. Dead planets, single neutron star, spinning slowly, glowing faint blue. But the instruments went crazy. Gravity was wrong. Time drifted slightly. And in the center of it all, a signal that didn't stop pulsing. Ava Lynn whispered, "It's like the star is alive." Dr. Veras stared at her screen. "It's sending human DNA over and over. But every hour, it changes slightly." Commander Elira closed her eyes. "It's remembering something. A planet that shouldn't exist. Tariq found it first." "Captain, there's a planet here behind the star." Marek frowned. "That's impossible. There's nothing on official charts." They moved into orbit. And there it was, a dark planet, covered in swirling clouds, no lights, no heat. But scans showed perfectly straight lines across the surface like a city grid. Ava whispered, "This place, it was built." They called it XYLAS-4 and decided to land. The descent. The Raven dropped through the clouds. No storms, no interference. The planet welcomed them. The ship landed in a giant metal field, perfectly smooth, untouched by time. The crew stepped out. Their boots echoed. No dust, no wind, no sound at all. Only the feeling of being watched. Dr. Veras knelt and scanned the metal floor. "This alloy doesn't match anything on Earth or in the Council's archives." Commander Alira looked around. "This place isn't abandoned. It's asleep." The entry point. Tariq found a strange marking on the ground, a large triangle with circles inside. When he touched it, the ground trembled. A doorway opened. Dark stairs led downward. No light inside yet. No one hesitated. They walked down their lights. Revealed walls covered in carvings. Humans standing tall. Flying ships. Building galaxies. One carving showed a man holding a sun in his hands. Ava ran her fingers over the stone. "This language, it's ancient Terran. But these words were never taught. We didn't even know they existed." She translated one line aloud. "Before the stars had names, we gave them voice." The living city below. They entered a giant underground chamber. It glowed faintly. Blue light, humming softly. Pillars of crystal stretched to the ceiling. And in the center, a floating orb. Dr. Veras gasped. "That's a memory core. Same as early Earth AI prototypes, just far more advanced." Commander Alira stepped forward. The orb flickered, and then it spoke. "Welcome home, children of the flame." Revelations from the past. The orb showed them visions. Humans building starfaring cities when other species were still primitive. Empires that stretched across thousands of worlds. Wars against dark, formless enemies who fed on memory. "You were the first," the orb said, "but you chose to forget. To protect yourselves and the galaxy. This planet was your vault, your truth." Ava trembled. "We forgot who we were." The orb pulsed, but the stars remembered. Cliffhanger. The signal spreads back in the Raven. Sensors screamed. The neutron star had pulsed again. But this time, it wasn't just Earth receiving it. The entire galaxy picked it up. Every planet, every ship. And the message was clear. Humanity remembered. Now will you? Council ships scrambled, species panicked, and deep inside the ancient vault, a second orb lit up blood red. Commander Alira stepped closer. The red orb whispered, "They're coming." The chamber was silent. The glowing blue orb in the center of the underground vault had just spoken. "Welcome home, children of the flame." Captain Merrick Dorn took a step back. His voice was calm, but tense. It spoke in perfect Terran English. Dr. Elena Veras slowly circled the orb. She held up her scanner. "No signal source, no speakers. It's not transmitting its thinking." Commander Alira Rowe didn't speak. She just watched. She had seen strange things in her life, but this felt old, older than stars, older than memory itself. Images in the light. The orb pulsed again. Suddenly, the walls lit up like stone had turned into screens. Ancient carvings glowed, showing moving images. Not animations. Memories. A vast city floating in space. Humans tall, strong, wearing strange armor, stood beside alien species no one recognized. Above them, a sun-sized machine spinning in orbit. Then ships rising, fleets launching a war in the stars. Dark shadows attacked. Formless, shifting, monstrous. And then, silence. The cities vanished. The humans faded. Tariq, the engineer, whispered, "This isn't history, it's a memory recording." Dr. Veras nodded. A recording from a time before Earth was Earth. The forgotten name of Alin, the exolinguist, stared at a glowing inscription. Her eyes scanned it slowly. "It's a name in Old Terran Ilion." The first of flame. Marek frowned. "Who is Ilion?" The orb answered. "He is the one who lit the stars. He is the one who fell so you could rise." The lights dimmed, the orb faded, and then a new chamber opened. Behind it a sealed vault door, covered in symbols. Elira stepped forward. The moment she touched it, the door hissed open. The sleeper inside the vault, a single cryopod, metallic, ancient, still powered. And inside eat a human, male, silent, eyes closed. His body was healthy. His heart beat slow, but strong. Alina scanned the pod. "He's alive, and his DNA is human. But," she paused, "it's identical to the DNA from the star signal." Ava stared in disbelief. "You're saying he's the one who sent it?" Elira nodded once. "Or the last one who remembers how Ilion wakes." Captain Dorn gave the order. "Wake him." Tariq connected the pod to Raven's auxiliary power. Lights turned green. Gas hissed. The pod opened. The man's chest rose. He gasped, then he opened his eyes. They glowed faint gold. He sat up, looked around. His voice was soft. "What year is it?" "Number 1 answered. He looked at Elira. "Are you Flameborn?" She didn't understand. "I'm from Earth." He smiled sadly. "Then no. You're one of the forgotten. Who is Ilion?" They sat with him in the vault chamber. Ilion touched the floor. It lit up beneath his fingers. "This place remembers me. It was my sanctuary." After the fall, Alina leaned forward. "Fall of what?" He looked up. "Humanity. The first one." They listened in silence. Ilion spoke slowly. "Before the Council, before the rise of the new empires, there was a human empire. We seeded worlds, built stars, made peace where chaos ruled. But we made a mistake." Captain Dorn asked, "What kind of mistake?" Ilion's eyes dimmed. "We created memory beings, creatures that fed on thought, time, and history. We called them the Unspoken. They erased empires. By erasing memory, to stop them, we erased ourselves." "The great forgetting," Ava whispered. "So Earth wasn't the beginning?" Ilion shook his head. "Earth was the end, the final seed world. We made Earth to forget, to start again, clean. That's why your species grew without knowing. No memories, no past, save from the unspoken." Alina stepped forward, but the signal from the star, it remembered. Ilion nodded. "Because the stars never forget." The red orb activates. Suddenly a soft red light filled the vault. The second orbith one they had ignored activated. It spun faster and faster. It's sending a signal outward. Across the galaxy, Ilion stood slowly. His voice turned cold. "Then they know." Ilira looked up sharply. "Who?" "The Unspoken," Ilion replied. "The moment you remembered me, they began returning." Cliffhanger. A shadow in the sky back on the Raven. Orbiting above Xylus 4, sensors picked up a reading. A new object had appeared. Not a ship, not a star. A black shape like a hole in space itself. No heat, no light, just absence. And then, across every screen, in every language, a message appeared. "We smell memory. We are coming." Darkness returned to the vault. The glowing red orb spun in silence. Its pulse was slow but growing louder. Everyone stood still, watching. Then the orb whispered, "They have seen the memory. They have tasted it. They are on their way." Captain Merrick Dorn turned to Ilion. "What does that mean? Who are they?" Ilion looked toward the ceiling, toward the surface of the planet. "The unspoken memory feeders, shadow creatures. They exist between thought and time. Long ago they tried to erase us all. Now that you've remembered me, they remember you." Warning from the past. Elira Rose stood near the entrance, her hand on her sidearm. "If they're coming, what do we do?" Ilion stepped forward, calm. "You must leave. Warn Earth. The Raven has the memories now. The knowledge in these walls. That's why they'll hunt it first." Dr. Veras looked confused. "Why do they want memories?" Ilion answered. "Because memory is power. To them, knowledge is like food. The more you remember, the more they grow. The more the galaxy rediscovers its past, the weaker we become." Ilion's request. Captain Dorn hesitated. "You're staying behind." Ilion nodded. "I must awaken what still sleeps beneath. If they come here, I can hold them back for a while. But you must prepare Earth." He handed Dorn a glowing crystal. It hummed with a warm golden light. "This contains the first defense, the knowledge of the beacon of flame. You must rebuild it." Evelyn asked, "What is it?" Ilion replied, "It's the only thing the unspoken fear. Remembrance. A weapon that lights every memory in every mind. It burns them, but it can also burn you." Race against shadows. They rushed back through the city beneath XYLAS-4. Behind them, walls dimmed, lights faded. The planet was going back to sleep, but above them, something else had awakened. Tariq's comms lit up with a warning. "Captain, we have a problem. There's something above the ship." The Raven's AI named KESSA spoke through the wrist device. "An object is approaching from orbit. No engine, no signal, no heat, but it is watching Us Shadow and Orbit. The crew reached the surface. They saw it at once. A hole in the sky, not black, not space. A moving shadow, no shape, no edges. It floated above the Raven like a curtain made of night. Commander Alira drew her weapon. That's not a ship, that's a thought. Ilian stood at the doorway behind them. The first scout. They don't arrive with noise. They arrive with forgetting. Once it lands, you'll begin to lose names, words, faces. Then you'll forget yourself. Dr. Varys shivered. That's what happened to the old galaxy, isn't it? Ilion nodded. That's why you never knew about us. They took it. The first strike the shadow dropped, it moved faster. Then light but made no sound. The crew raced to the Raven. Tariq slammed the hatch. Controls were sealed. But Kess's voice echoed. Warning, memory interference detected. Cognitive slippage in progress. Inside the ship, lights flickered. Ava dropped to her knees. I don't remember my name. Alira blinked, gun shaking. I can't remember my father's face. The shadow pressed against the hull like fog. Its presence wasn't physical, it was mental. It was reaching into them. Ilion burns, bright outside. Ilion stood alone. He lifted both hands. His eyes glowed bright white gold. Then he spoke a single word in a lost language. The air bent. The ground cracked. And a pillar of golden fire shot into the sky. The shadow screamed, not with sound but with millions of broken thoughts. It pulled back. The memory inside the Raven snapped back like a rubber band. Ava gasped. I remember again, Tariq whispered. He saved us, Kessa confirmed. Memory interference retreating. Captain Dorn gave the order, launch now. Escape from the forgotten planet. The Raven rose into orbit. Ilian watched from below. His voice came through there, comes though no signal was active. Go, carry the fire back to Earth. Tell them who they were. As the Raven jumped into quantum drive, the shadow returned to Xylus 4, but this time, it was met by flame. The Council reacts back on Senvaris. The Galactic Council Central Station lands. Rang. 10 species gathered around a live transmission. The human ship had broken a council block. Worse. Every sensor in the galaxy had recorded it. A forgotten system, lit by ancient flame. A being not listed in any database. A language older than all civilizations. And then, every screen turned to black. A single message appeared in bold red glyphs. The first flame has returned. Cliffhanger. Earth awakens. The Raven reappeared in Sol System. Captain Dorn didn't rest. He ordered immediate encryption of all findings. The crystal was delivered to Earth's deep archives there. Machines older than the internet woke up. Gears, turns. Lights, blinked. And inside Earth's core, something ancient stirred. A voice echoed in forgotten tunnels beneath the Himalayas. Beacon detected. Memory weapon 1% reactivated. Earth was waking up, and soon. So would the galaxy. The message had spread. From the edge of the Talvelis system to every galactic relay. From the smallest outpost to the central towers of Senvaris. Every screen, every translator, every data feed had carried just 3 words. The first flame has returned. And with that message, silence fell. Council and chaos. The Galactic Council, home to 73 species, had not been this silent in centuries. Not during the Iraq War, not during the Talent virus outbreak. Even when the Zovarians tried to collapse 3 stars in rebellion. Now, the silence came not from fear of war but fear of memory. Ambassador Trock of the Javini spoke first. The humans, they were supposed to be new, evolving, weak. Counselor Merck of the Fevlin hissed. We rated them Tier 2 civilization. They weren't even allowed near ancient sites. But then, Ambassador Run of the Krell rose. He spoke slowly. I remember something. From childhood, a story, a warning. The others looked at him. What warning? Trock asked. Run's voice trembled. My great-grandfather said, never follow the flames in the dark, for that is where the old ones sleep. I thought it was myth. But now, I'm not sure. An old record unlocked deep in the archives below the council tower. A vault opened for the first time in 12,000 years. It required 12 keys. 3 of them had been lost for centuries, yet now, they blinked online automatically. Inside, a sealed black cube, dusty, forgotten, silent. Until now, the cube projected a single image, a human face, eyes glowing gold, standing before a burning sun. Text scrolled in ancient glyphs. Memory class AO, threat, designation, Ilion, status, lost, order, do not awaken. Counselor Merck collapsed in his seat. We didn't evolve past humanity. We evolved because they let us. Earth decides to speak back on Earth. The ESS Raven had returned in silence. Its crew quarantined. The data was copied and stored inside Deep Archive 7, hidden beneath Antarctica. But something had changed in Earth's government. The president of the Terran Union, Leona Kor, stood before a darkened chamber. Behind her, military leaders, scientists, historians, survivors of black projects no one spoke about. She spoke clearly. The Council now knows. The galaxy now remembers. We must decide, do we hide again, or light the flame? General Soren, head of the Terran Defense Corps, stepped forward. We vote to ignite. The memory has returned, so must our strength. And so, Earth made its choice. the flame protocol hidden beneath the old crust of Mars. A facility activated. Engines powered up. Walls shifted, and from the dust a forgotten ship rose. Not a warship, not a scout, a memory ship. Its name glowed across the hull in golden Terran letters. Recollector 1, built to store and spread Earth's oldest truths. It had waited thousands of years. Now it was awake, and it carried the first copy of the beacon of flame, a weapon not of missiles but of reminders. Beacon test. The forgotten moon 2. Test the beacon. Earth chose a lifeless moon on the edge of the Orion drift. The recollector fired once. No explosion, no beam, just a wave of sound. But on nearby ships, strange things happened. A Varnari diplomat remembered a language he had never learned. A Fivelan scientist had dreams of cities made of crystal and light. A Ziln warlord collapsed, crying about voices in the stars. And in all of them, one word kept appearing: Ilion. The beacon had worked. It made the galaxy remember. The council's panic back at Senvaris. Council meetings now happened every hour. One ambassador said, "Shut Earth down. Quarantine them." Another shouted, "They're awakening the unspoken." But one voice rose above the rest. It was the representative from Earth, Ambassador Kaeldorn, brother of Captain Marek. He stepped forward and spoke quietly. "You built empires on forgetting. Now the truth returns. You called us weak, primitive, but we were only sleeping." The chamber fell silent. Then Kale placed a crystal on the council floor. It played a memory, 1,000,000 stars, burning bright, shaped by human hands. "This is what we used to be. Now does you stand with us, or be left in the dark?" Cliffhanger. The shadows advance on the edge of the galaxy. Beyond mapped systems, something stirred. A dark wave spread across stars. Ships sent to explore vanished. Probes returned only static, and in one last message, sent seconds before a ship disappeared, a voice was heard. A voice not from any species. A voice made of echo, of dust, of old fears. "We are the unspoken. We smell memory. And we are very hungry." The stars of the Tyreek cluster were quiet. Too quiet for thousands of years. These systems had been full of life stations, ships, trade routes. Now, no signals, no traffic, no movement. The Galactic Council sent scouts. None returned. Some believed the systems had been attacked. Others feared something worse, but only Earth knew the truth. The unspoken had arrived, and they were feeding. Mission: illuminate the dark from Mars. The memory ship Recollector 1 launched again. This time, carried a stronger version of the beacon of flame, a deep memory pulse designed to awaken not only people, but places. The ship's mission: travel to lost worlds. Shine the beacon. Bring back what was hidden. But it wasn't just a recovery mission. It was a test of time itself. World: Nemea IV. The first target was a forgotten planet called Nemea 4. According to Council records, Nemea 4 was destroyed during a mining accident 800 years ago. Unlivable. Empty. But when Recollector 1 arrived, it was wrong. There were no signs of destruction. Instead, the planet looked untouched. Clean skies, green trees, no cities. No wreckage. But also no people. Team on the ground. A small team descended to the surface. Captain Lyra Chen, mission lead. Dr. Malik Rowe, memory engineer. Kiri, a human scientific savant. 2 Terran Guard soldiers. They walked through forests of silverleaf trees. Everything felt too perfect. Malik scanned the air. Atmosphere is fine. No toxins. Radiation normal. Lyra looked around. "So where is everyone?" Then Kiri stopped. She touched a tree and whispered, "They're here, just asleep." The first echo that night. They activated a mini beacon on the surface. A soft hum rolled across the land. At first nothing. Then the wind stopped. The trees bent slightly. The ground gave a small shiver. And then ... Buildings began to rise from the ground. Not metal, not stone. Memory. Towers of glowing blue light formed in the dark, like echoes of a city that once was. Holograms flickered. People walking, laughing, living. Dr. Malik whispered, "We didn't just find ruins, we found memories." But something else woke up in the heart of the eco-city. A large spire stood. It pulsed slowly. Once, then again. Kiri froze. Her eyes turned white. She dropped to her knees. "They see us. They are coming." Suddenly, the sky turned black. No clouds, no night, just a shape, covering the stars. It moved like smoke but had weight. Sound vanished. Then the trees began to bend toward it, like pulled by gravity. Captain Lyra screamed, "Back to the ship now." But it was too late. The thing in the spire. Kiri stood alone. The others ran. The black shape hovered above her. She whispered again, "You don't belong here anymore. We remember now." The spire behind her lit up. Inside, a shape formed, a golden human figure, not solid, not spirit, pure memory. A voice echoed from it, "You cannot feed here. Flame has returned." The black shape screamed it loud, but deep. It shook the trees. It cracked the sky, and then it vanished, gone, as if memory had burned it away. Kiri's changed when the team returned to her. Kiri was still glowing faintly. Her voice was calm. "I saw him, Ilion. He is not just memory. He is everywhere. Memory still lives." Dr. Malik looked afraid. "Kiri, you're different." She smiled faintly. "He showed me things, what we used to be, what we must become. Back to Earth." Truth delivered. When Recollector 1 returned, the data was sent straight to Earth's deep core. President Leona Kor viewed the recordings with her inner circle. A city reborn by memory. The unspoken pushed back. A figure made of history. Lin speaking through a psychic dot. She turned to General Soren. We are no longer just defending Earth. We are rebuilding the past. And with each mission, each beacon activation, Earth was growing stronger. The Council's division at the Galactic Council. The reaction was chaotic. Some worlds cheered the return of knowledge. Others demanded Earth stop at once. But a few began remembering on their own. The Zalari found human ruins in their deep oceans. The Krell discovered a forgotten Terran vault beneath their capital, and the Javine had a dream, one dream, shared by millions. A human face standing in a storm, whispering, "Remember who you were." Cliffhanger. The flame moves in deep space. A new signal began to rise, not sent by Earth, not by machines, but by the stars themselves. One by one, ancient Terran beacons forgotten across galaxies began turning on. No ships, no orders, just memory awakening itself. And on the edge of the galaxy, a massive Terran structure cracked open beneath the ice of a dead world. Inside it, a throne, and on that throne, something stirred. The ice on the dead world cracked open like old glass. The planet had no name in modern star maps. It was hidden near a collapsed star, beyond the far edge of the Zorless void. But now, something beneath the ice had awakened. Machines, thousands of years old, turned on. Lights blinked. Gears moved, and in the center of it all, stood the throne of flame. It was not made of gold, not of iron. It was forged from memory. Solidified light shaped by thought and time, and on that throne, a figure sat upright, eyes glowing like twin suns. Signal across the stars from the dead world. A new signal launched. It didn't speak in words, it spoke in feelings. Power, fire, rage, and one sharp idea. The throne is taken once again. In Earth's deep archives, all systems froze. Beacon stations across the galaxy flickered, then turned red. Dr. Malik, watching from the Recollector command screen, said softly, "It's happening. The first mind has returned." Who is the first mind? On Earth, President Leona Kor gathered her council. General Soren looked tense. If the throne activates, the unspoken will come in full. Ava Lanau, Kiri's mentor, answered calmly. They're already coming, but the throne means something else too. It means Ilion isn't just memory. He's alive. They turned to Kiri, who had grown pale and quiet. She nodded slowly. I feel him. He's not just in one place anymore. He's in every memory that survived. The unspoken prepare far from Earth. In the dark between galaxies, the unspoken gathered. They did not use ships. They were ships. Minds made of void. Bodies shaped from forgotten things. They swam through vacuum like shadows in water, and in one massive voice, they declared, "The throne has burned. We must feed before the light returns." Council's last debate. The Galactic Council was falling apart. Some races wanted to fight beside Earth, others feared they would be erased. Ambassador Kale Dorn stood in the center chamber. You think memory is dangerous, but forgetting has made you weak. Now the shadows you ignored are at your door. He stepped forward and placed a glowing cube on the council floor. It projected a map showing dozens of old Terran fortresses hidden across the stars. You want protection. Help us wake them, or be forgotten next. The choice in orbit around the throne world. Earth's Recollector ship met with two alien cruisers, the Javini and Krell, together. They formed a team to land on the surface. Captain Lyra Chen led the mission again. This time, she didn't bring soldiers. She brought historians, engineers, and one psychic. Kiri. As they stepped into the glowing halls, Kiri whispered, "It's not just memory here. It's will." They reached the throne room. Ilion sat motionless. Then he opened his eyes. Ilion speaks. His voice was not loud, but it shook every wall. "You opened the flame. You remembered. Now the galaxy must choose. Will you burn bright again, or let the dark eat what's left?" No one spoke. Then Kiri stepped forward. "We choose the light." Ilion raised his hand. The walls of the fortress glowed. Beacons across the galaxy flared. The map inside every ship changed, showing new star paths, lost human routes, and weapon codes no one had used in a million years. Earth had unlocked the war memory. The final signal. Alien turned his gaze to the stars. "They are coming. They will try to erase us again. But this time, we will remember faster than they forget." He pointed at the council envoys. "Tell your people, this is not just a Terran war. This is the war of memory versus shadow, of truth versus silence." The lights dimmed, the beacons pulsed, and deep beneath the galaxy's oldest moons, weapons built by ancient hands began to stir. Cliffhanger. Before the storm back on Earth. Alarms rang in Deep Archive 7. General Soren read the report aloud. Unspoken. Force detected 600 shadow fleets, heading toward core systems. President Kor stared at the map. They were heading for the heart of the galaxy, for Senvirus. Kiri, now fully bonded to the flame, whispered softly, "They want to destroy the throne. They want to destroy us." General Soren turned. "Then it's time. Time for Earth to stop hiding." In every system touched by Terran ruins, alarms echoed. From the frozen moons of Draven to the burning skies of Cyril Prime, ships turned toward one direction, the core of the galaxy. because that's where the unspoken were heading. They moved like a great wave of darkness, no sound, no energy trail, just silence. They weren't just here to destroy, they were here to erase. Earth stands alone. At first, President Leona Kor stood before the Terran Defense Command. Behind her, the map showed it clearly. 600 shadow fleets, billions of minds, feeding on memory, heading straight for Senvaris and Earth. Only 39 active warships, 1 beacon ship, no alliances confirmed. But still, she stood tall. They erased our past once, not again. This time, we carry fire. The Recollector ship, now upgraded with Ilion's core, prepared to jump first. Its beacon was no longer a tool, it was a weapon. The beacon fires first at the edge of Senvaris' system. Shadow ships arrived. They formed a wall of darkness, swallowing stars behind them. Council defense fleets tried to fire, but their weapons failed. Their minds began to slip. Pilots forgot where they were. Officers forgot how to speak. Then a light appeared in the dark, small at first, then brighter, then unstoppable. The beacon of flame, fired but not like a laser, like a wave of memory. Every person in the system felt it, a memory of walking under Earth's blue sky, a song sung by someone they never knew, a word they had forgotten. Hope. The shadows screamed, they twisted, they burned. The light hurt them. The old ones returned, and suddenly across the galaxy, more beacons lit, not from Earth, not from ships, not from worlds. Forgotten Terran stations activated. Old AI minds came back online. Ships built 1 million years ago rose from hidden docks. And above Earth's orbit, a ship larger than the moon appeared. Its name burned across the stars. TSV Invictus, Terran sovereign vessel, crewless but not lifeless, controlled by memory itself. The final battle begins and Varus was under attack. Shadow fleets struck, cities with thought waves turning citizens into silence. But then, the Invictus arrived, and behind it, thousands of awakened Terran war constructs, Blade-class AI fighters, flame-engraved cruisers, the lost Titan, Saul's Will. Kiri, now fully connected to Ilion, stood inside the Recollector. Her voice echoed across comms. Do not fear. We are not alone. Your memory is your shield. Your story is your sword. The ships fought with flame. Flame not of fire but of truth. Wherever they flew, memory returned, and where memory returned, shadow could not follow. Ilion's returning, the heart of the storm. The throne appeared, brought by the Recollector to the front lines. Ilion now walked among the battlefield, no longer just a voice. Every soldier who saw him remembered something old, a mother's smile. The first time, they saw stars. A story from childhood. And when Ilion raised his hand, the stars themselves burned brighter. He pointed to the largest unspoken mind. You have fed long enough, now we remember. Now we are whole. The final strike that Invictus aligned all of its systems to the throne. The Recollector linked. Every beacon across the galaxy responded. And Earth gave the command. Ignite. A pulse left the throne, not energy. But memory. The first breath of mankind. The building of the first ship. The moment Earth looked up and said, we will go higher. The wave hit the unspoken, and they shattered, not from explosion, but from remembrance. They were never meant to exist where truth lived. Silence. Then, like the battle ended, the stars returned. Senvaris was saved, ships landed, people wept, because this time, they had won not by force, but by becoming whole. Again Kiri fell to her knees beside the throne. Ilion looked at her and smiled. Now, you carry the flame and the galaxy remembers. Aftermath. A new galaxy. The Galactic Council was rebuilt. Time, with Earth at the center. Beacons were placed not as weapons, but as libraries. Children learned the true stories of the stars. Species once divided by fear now shared what they knew. And Earth, it never claimed the galaxy, it only said, we were first, but never alone. Now we rise together. Final lines perfect for your YouTube outro. And so, they thought humanity was new, fresh, young, harmless, but the stars whispered otherwise. And now, the galaxy will never forget again. Because where there is memory, there is fire. And where there is fire, there is humanity.